And this is a Fox News alert. The White House knew. Now, the Washington Times is reporting that the Obama administration was notified about scheduling problems and delayed care at multiple Veterans Affairs hospitals more than 5 years ago. Now, the paper obtained materials through the Freedom of Information Act request, proving that the VA officials warned the Obama-Biden transition team in 2008. Quote, this is not only a data integrity issue in which the Veterans Health Administration reports unreliable performance data, it affects quality of care by delaying and potentially denying deserving vets timely care. Now, Fox's own Ed Henry is standing by at the White House tonight with the very latest on how the administration is responding. Ed.
Well, good evening. It's interesting because they're admitting that the president knew maybe even before that presidential transition that there were major problems. They're saying that back in 2007, during the campaign, the president made some big promises, including to the VFW, when he said it would be a sacred trust to take care of veterans. They say he knew that there were big problems to grapple with, but that stands in contrast to now we see this drip of scandal at veterans hospitals that has now reached really a stream of allegations in 19 states, count them, 19 states, where we've seen problems at VA hospitals, including new information on Fox today. A doctor in West Virginia telling us that she's aware of allegations of at least 2 patients committing suicide while they were waiting for care. They were desperately waiting for care. They ended up committing suicide. Bottom line is that report about the 2008 presidential transition shows this problem predated the Obama administration, started the Bush administration, but it begs the question that I put to Jay Carney today about what this president has been doing for the last nearly 6 years to deal with it, while yet another Republican came out today and said Secretary Shinseki should resign and the president needs to speak out more. Listen. If you were warned about it in the transition, wouldn't you do something in 2009, 2010, 2011?
Absolutely. Which is that we asked for and received from Congress significant increases in the Veterans Affairs budget.
But it's not getting to the veterans.
Well, that's simply not the case. Again, you have more veterans being served through health centers around the country.
I get that General Shinseki's mad as hell. The president may even be madder than him. But the reality is the president has over and over taken every step he can to avoid taking any leadership decision.
Now, while the president has not spoken out on this matter in nearly a month, you just heard there the Republican noting that White House aides are now saying the president madder than hell will be speaking out on this soon. We don't know what day, but the bottom line is there's pressure growing on him. And when we were pressed today, Jay Carney, when did the president first hear about these allegations about 40 people allegedly dying in Phoenix waiting for care? He said it was through media reports. Interesting, because we've heard that with other stories like the IRS before, Sean.
Ed, one quick question here. By the way, the whistleblower that you referred to is going to be on the show tonight, as well as some of the victims' families are going to be here to tell their stories. But this is West Virginia. This is Virginia. This is Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is Colorado. This is Phoenix, where 40 deaths are reported. In each case, it seems to be the same tactic, if you will, the same fraudulent scheme where they have this alternative list. Did anyone bring that up at the presser today with Jay Carney?
He's been pressed about it. And look, in some of these stories, what we've seen is that there were bonuses given to VA employees if they were able to whittle down the wait time and make sure that people were being seen within the goal of 14 days. That might be one reason, one motive why there were secret waiting lists. We don't know. It's still being investigated. But the idea that if people were not being seen for 14 days, or it was taking 6 months, 8 months, however long you want to know. In Albuquerque, they say it's an 8-month secret waiting list. Those employees wouldn't be getting bonuses because clearly veterans were not being seen quickly enough. And so this is a huge problem. We should note there are veterans who come out and speak to us and say they get great care from the VA hospitals. But there are others who are obviously waiting in line and can't get that care.
Yeah, it seems that these wait lists have been institutionalized as you go facility to facility, state to state. Ed, great reporting as usual. Thank you for being with us. Now, as he mentioned, now the problems of the VA medical facilities, they're not just limited to Phoenix, Arizona, and have been reported all across the country, including the locations you see right there on your screen. Issues such as management data manipulation, lengthy wait times, and poor care are just some of the more recent reports. Joining me now with reaction are the 2 senators from the great state of Arizona, both Republicans, John McCain and Jeff Flake. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Senator McCain, I want to go to the question. It seems, you know, this is not isolated. This wait list issue that is in your state of Arizona, this seems institutionalized. In other words, that makes me suspicious that somebody told these facilities to do this. Is that a reasonable thought?
I think it's reasonable, but I also think it's reasonable, Sean, that they set parameters that there would be certain waiting times that shouldn't be exceeded. Because of the nature of their business, they were unable to meet those waiting times. So then it seems natural that people would then start cooking the books, so to speak. By the way, Albuquerque is the latest one. And by the way, I campaigned in 2008, and I said we've got to fundamentally restructure the VA, and that's what we have to do. If a veteran needs a routine health care, he should have a card. He or she should have a card, and take that card to whatever health care facility that they think where they can get the best treatment. Jeff and I live in a big state, Arizona. Sometimes a veteran has to ride in a van for 3 hours or more to get to a routine medical treatment. Why not give that veteran a card and let him or her get it wherever they are? That's what I campaigned on, and it's not going to be fixed until we give the flexibility to the veteran to get the care they think they need most.
You know, Senator Flake, the fact that they've adopted in different states the same fraudulent system, is that suspicious to you?
Well, it is, and it tells you a lot of these employees travel around, or they get advancement or promotion or moved laterally around to different VA facilities, and it's likely that in the same way that some businesses take best practices with them, they may have taken the worst practices with them with regard to these wait times, because it seems to be the same kind of devices used to mask the real waiting time. Let me say as well that you know, if Congress needs to appropriate more money, if we need to do that, we have to do that based on the information that we get from the VA. And if the VA is saying that we have an average of just 14 days of wait time, then we're not getting good information to act on. So this is a big problem.
All right, the news today that the president knew. I want to get both your reactions to this. Senator McCain, we now learned today that, in fact, they were told in 2008, as you mentioned, and also we know that the president gave a speech to disabled vets in August of 2013, and he said, you know, that the veterans who come into the system, et cetera, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not moving as fast as I want it to move, et cetera, et cetera. I put additional resources. So he's known about it the entire time, it seems, but yet it's worse than ever. So, I mean, is this the equivalent of healthcare death panels for our vets? I know 167 families were paid out since 2001. Did they make a decision to pay out the families rather than to provide the care?
But I think it really indicates also all that, Sean, but where's the president's priorities? In 2008, as you mentioned, in transition, he said wait times are too long. On several other occasions, he said he was aware of things that were still wrong at the VA. He's in his second term now. Where was it on his priority list? It seems to me it couldn't have been real high, because really nothing changed at the VA. In fact, things got worse. And as Jeff said, we did appropriate more money, but you're only as good as the information that you get. And I know of no member of Congress that wouldn't appropriate all the money that's necessary.
Right, so
one of your liberal friends on Sunday, I noticed, said, well, Congress just nickeled and dimed them. That's an outright lie.
Well, even President Obama in the speech in 2013 admitted that more money had been spent. What about Shinseki? Should he go?
I think that... Go ahead, Jeff.
No, General Shinseki has called both myself and Senator McCain, and is saying that he's going to address these allegations.
It's under his watch. This is how many years has he been there now?
No, he certainly bears responsibility for a lot of this.
So why should he be given another opportunity?
My own concern is, and Senator McCain can tell you if he has concerns. My own concern is that if he were to go right now, then all the focus would be on the new guy or the new person, and they would be given time to get it right, and we would shift responsibility or accountability. We need to get to the bottom of what's going on, and
so even though it happened
even
though it happened under his watch, you think the transition to a new person is more difficult than keeping the same incompetent person in place?
Well, I think keeping him there to be accountable until we find out what exactly went on, and then decide what to do upon that. But right now, let's hold somebody accountable. Let's have him testify before Congress as he is, as the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, not as the former Secretary.
Senator McCain? Your thought?
Sean, they're a Veterans Affairs Committee in the House, which, by the way, has done an in-depth study. I'm really proud of the work that Congressman Miller and others have done. Are going to have him as the Secretary before them. I think we can wait until after that testimony. I have to say that the testimony before the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee was not a very strong performance. Let's wait and see what happens at this next hearing.
All right, thank you both for being with us. Now, we have a lot more coming up tonight right here on Hannity.
We're going to challenge each of our 57 regional VA offices to come up with the best ways of doing business, of harnessing the best information technologies, of cutting red tape and breaking through the bureaucracy.
By the way, another scandal where the president says that he didn't know about, he learned about it from the media, and that was the president there speaking in Phoenix way back in 2009.